David from Patriot Cowboy. That day was the Houlahan heel trap. And for practice purposes, what I've done is to figure out the geometry with this and the angles. So I have a triangle here, which is my start point and my stance, which is 45 degree angle, right, to my target, which is this cone over here. It's about 12 feet this way. And then from this right leg here to this cone, it's about 6 feet. From this cone to my stance over here is about 7 feet. My loop size, okay, my loop size is 62 inches. Yeah. My spoke size is about 27 inches. So that's about 44% spoke length. All right, the ropes I'm using for this experiment are the Shamrock, the Tri-Lead, and the Desert Rose from 310 Ranch Life. All polys, stiff poly, 2 lead cores, very flexible poly, the Shamrock, 1 lead core, and a Tri-Lead, very, very heavy rope, 3 lead cores. That's my favorite. The whole idea of this exercise is to be able to repeat, right, this configuration, the way I got this shot. Now let's take a look. Let's take a look at what we have. All right. You can see the wrap around, the legs there where the tip came out, perfect circle, right? And you see what we have there, right? Okay, so one of the things that I measure is, and I'll set this camera back up. Hopefully I set it in the right place. All right, there you go. So one of the things that I measure is the distance of the tip to the left leg, left hind leg. This is about 9 inches extension. So the tip extended and wrapped around this leg by about 9 inches. My Honda, tip of my Honda, right, landed about an inch inside. So I consider that negative, which is actually a good thing. So it landed inside, so that means that this part of the rope, or the heel of the rope where I was holding it, sort of tucked in a little bit, which is actually a good thing. I also measure from the butt to where this part of the rope has landed. I measured that distance, and I really wanted this to be a little more this way, but I know why it landed here. All right, so that's about 7 inches. Now, let's do the same shot, same size loop, same everything, different rope, very stiff poly, prefers to stay open and not wrap like this one. I'm going to let out 3 coils in my left hand. That works for me. I have one coil in my right hand. And let's see how this works. Okay. Let's see what we have. In terms of how these overlap. The top, you see, that's about, I would say, about 3 inches off. That's fine. The 2 tips landed about similar extension, but the pink rope, the desert rose, landed somewhere out here, which might be a better thing because the green one, sometimes when the steer starts to walk, it sort of kick the tip out of the way. But you notice the difference how the Shamrock wants to wrap and the desert rose wants to stay like fairly open, right? Both polys. The other thing and look at where the both Hondas are. You see where where the pink poly is, the desert rose? That's a big gap, right? Also, what I do is to make sure I have the loops the same size, I put tape. You see right here? I put tape. I have tape over there. Because I do a lot of events, birthday parties and stuff like that. And my events are all groundwork. And I do shot after shot after shot. And I can't guess between shots what loop size, and I can't be in a rush. So by doing this, it helps me to figure out how to build the next loop quickly and execute another shot. All right, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to throw out same thing using that tri-lead in the corner over there. All right, let's see what that looks like. Now, with this one, I have no mark, and I deliberately did not mark this one. And what I've been doing is to see how good I am at estimating 62 inches with a 27-inch spoke. So building this loop, right, I have no marker. Let me see, I think somehow this feels just about right. Put a coil in my hand. Let's measure that. So I purposely did not mark this because I'm trying to practice doing this freehand. I want to see, I'm usually pretty close. Oh, 61 inches. Not bad. Spoke length. I'm at 27 and a half. I'm getting better. Not bad. So this is a very, very heavy rope. And I've pretty much, I would say, mastered and comfortable with this shot, which I learned 3 weeks ago, by the way. Using those two ropes, I did a lot of practice, not that much with this one. It's a heavy, it's my favorite rope, but it's heavy and it's brand new, so it needs to be broken in. So then let's see how this one reacts to the same shot. Okay, let's see what we have over there. That's a lot of variation, and I know why that happened. And the whole idea is to know why you have this type of variation with shots. All right, so between the green rope and the tri-lead, Hondas are close. The tip, this one also came out, but I have like an overlap between these two parts of the rope. And I have a big variation from here to here. See that? And I know why that happened, but I'm not going to say in this video. What you're going to do is you're going to do a part 2, and we're going to correct, we're going to close this tolerance, because I'm able to throw these shots somewhere around here within 3 inches. So these ropes will land within an inch and a half or within 3 inches of each other. So it'll be like a 3-inch tolerance. Still, all catches. All right. But there's something called a better catch and a less favorable catch. Excuse my cough. A couple other things that I like to share. And I know some people follow me. I'm willing to share this spreadsheet. It's a system I'm building. Okay. This sheet here, right? You see that what we were talking about, that 7 feet by 6 feet by 12 feet, that 18 inches. You see that red box? That's 18 inches. That's my what do you call my target where I throw to. All right, that's 18 inches. And if you look, you'll see the name of the shot, the Houlahan. It's a heel shot. You see their spoke length, 27 inches, 44%. 5 foot 2 inches, so that's 62 inches. My swing angle, my positional angle is at 45 degrees. My swing, I think it's about 60 degrees. I have to measure that. And I have, you see the different colors there, green, pink, brown, or beige. You see the first box there, it says distance from the Honda to the left back leg, right? You have those measurements. And in the next video, I'll go a little deeper into that. So I use this sheet to track what I'm getting there in terms of on the ground with my shots, the actual shots. Over here is another sheet where these are my top 15 shots. The green are the ones that I'm very comfortable with, I've mastered. I'm just focusing on the top 15 right now. And whether they're heel shots or head shots. And this gives me like, some of that detail in terms of the preferred type of rope and the geometry and the angles. That's a 310 Ranch Life rope sheet over there with the different types of ropes and be there 3-strand or 4-strand or poly, how much life you get, whether they're stiffer or they're more they like to wrap sort of thing, the nature of the rope. Let me see what else I have. Also too, it's very important to track. I track on a daily basis. I have to update this sheet, the shots that I'm putting down. So here's my journal. You see 419. If you look at backhand over the hip, you'll see I did 3 shots and I scored 3, and I have my percentages there. You see, like that shot is 99.1% accuracy with that. The other thing that I noticed is that this particular configuration for that Houlahan, and of course I could do it further back this way. I'll just put more coils in my hand. For me, some people like the swing Houlahan with this big massive loop. To me, just swinging that stuff backhand gets out of control. This feels smooth as I swing. It works for me. I put the coil in my hand to keep it open. If I'm throwing it at a further distance, I could throw it from all the way back here. From here to here is a 12-foot shot. Throw it maybe like from 18 feet out. I'll just put more coils in my hand, in my right hand, and let out more coils, and get the same result. We'll probably do a video on that. But I realized that 6 of my top 8 shots have the same loop configuration. So if I'm doing backhand over the hip, right? Backhand over the hip. So you have the stairs like this. Right? I'm coming in from here, I can throw a backhand over the hip. It works for that. It works for my overhead tip over. That I swing overhead. And there's a tip over shot. I can throw that at a distance, 360 anywhere, 360. That loop configuration works. It works for the karate chop for me. It works for a shot called the Cooler, which I did a video on. So that same configuration where I have the markers, the duct tape marker. It works for all of those shots. So when I'm doing events, I could recycle from shot to shot to shot to shot without guesswork, because I know what if I'm doing Del Viento or the Johnny Blocker or the sidearm heel shot. That's all to me. What works is one loop configuration. I also have a marker for that as well. All right, so we're gonna do video number 2. Video number 2, we're going to close the gap, right? We're going to close that gap get those ropes within, the target is 3 inches specification, closer to the middle, wrapped around the legs. And another part of the specification we're going to use, we want figure eights. So you want figure eights around the leg with the Houlahan. These are not necessary figure eights, but we're going to make sure that we get figure eights. And there's a couple of secrets in how to do that. A lot of it has to do with the angles. Roping is all angles. So again, I learned this 3 weeks ago. I taught myself. I grew up in Trinidad in the Caribbean. I was fascinated by the rope, and didn't have a lot of cowboys running around and roping schools and team roping and all that stuff. So just learned a lot of bad habits. A few years ago, I re-embraced the passion for understanding the lasso, and I'm teaching myself how to rope. So for all of you top-notch guys, please be patient with me, but this is just my way. I'm an engineer, process engineer, and I think like an engineer. That's why I have the spreadsheets. That's why I have this as a training circuit. The other thing I want to get good at is pulling up in the proper position without any markers, and then measure how close I am in doing that. The same way with the tri-lead rope, the beige rope, we measure that. I was pretty much close. And that's important to understand the geometry and your loop size. Very important. Thank you again, David from Patriot Cowboy. Have a great day.